That thick, almost black syrup you've seen in gingerbread, barbecue sauce, and old-school remedies? It's not just sweet. It's the part of sugar that refuses to become sugar crystals. And that one detail explains its color, flavor, and why some molasses taste mild, while blackstrap tastes like a punch of smoke, coffee, and bittersweet caramel. In the next few minutes, you'll learn 1. What molasses actually is in one clear sentence. 2. How sugar making creates different grades of molasses. 3. Why blackstrap is darker and less sweet. 4. And the biggest myth, is molasses healthy or just sugar in a trench coat? Molasses is a thick syrup left after sugar is crystallized out of sugarcane or sugar beet juice during refining. Basically, you boil the juice, sugar crystals form, you remove the crystals, and the remaining liquid is molasses. It's not burned sugar. It's not fake honey. It's the concentrated, mineral-rich, flavor-heavy part of the plant juice that doesn't easily crystallize into table sugar. Molasses is most commonly from sugarcane, but it can also come from sugar beets, though beet molasses is often used more for industrial and animal feed purposes because its flavor can be intense. Britannica notes both sources and common uses. Here's the key. Sugar and molasses are made in the same process. For sugarcane, the cane is crushed and the juice is extracted, then clarified to remove impurities. After that, the juice is boiled so water evaporates and the mixture becomes supersaturated. That's when sugar crystals start forming. Then the mixture goes into a centrifuge. Think of a super fast salad spinner, separating the sugar crystals from the dark syrup around them. That syrup is molasses. And if you repeat the crystallization step again and again, you pull out more sugar, and the leftover syrup gets darker, thicker, and less sweet each time. That's why molasses isn't just one product. It's a family of syrups created by how many rounds of sugar crystallization happened. Imagine molasses like a video game with levels. Level 1. Light molasses. This is from the first boil. It's lighter in color, sweeter, and more mild. Level 2. Dark molasses. Second boil. Less sweet, more robust. This is where you start getting those deeper notes people associate with gingerbread or baked beans. Level 3. Blackstrap molasses. Third boil. This is the darkest, thickest, and usually the least sweet because more sucrose has already been crystallized out. What's left is concentrated flavor compounds and more of the naturally occurring minerals from the original juice. Britannica describes blackstrap as the final syrup after repeated sugar extraction. You may also see sulfured and unsulfured. Sulfured usually means sulfur dioxide was used as a preservative during processing, often when the cane wasn't fully mature. Unsulfured typically comes from mature cane and doesn't use that preservative step. So many people prefer it for flavor. If you're baking and want a clean, rounded taste, unsulfured is usually the safer pick. So why the dark color and that toasted, almost smoky vibe? Two big reasons. 1. Concentration asterisk. As water evaporates and sugar crystallizes out, what remains becomes more concentrated. Color and flavor compounds pile up. 2. Heat reactions asterisk. Boiling triggers browning reactions. Caramelization and Maillard-type reactions create hundreds of new compounds that smell like toffee, coffee, roasted nuts, or bittersweet caramel, especially as the syrup gets cooked repeatedly. These browning reactions are well documented in food chemistry. Molasses isn't just a baking ingredient. It's a workhorse. Baking asterisk. Gingerbread, cookies, dense cakes. Molasses adds moisture and chew. Savory cooking asterisk. Barbecue sauce and glazes. Its bitterness balances fat and smoke. Fermentation asterisk. Molasses is a classic sugar source for yeast. Historically, it's strongly tied to rum production, where it's fermented and distilled. Encyclopedic references on rum and molasses commonly note this relationship. Industry and agriculture asterisk certain molasses types are used in animal feed or fermentation-based production. Britannica mentions industrial uses. But molasses isn't just a pantry staple. Historically, it was an economic and cultural powerhouse. Back in the 17th and 18th centuries, molasses was the fuel for the triangular trade between Africa, the Caribbean, and Europe. Sugar and molasses from the Caribbean were shipped to Europe and North America, turned into rum, and then traded back to Africa, creating a massive economic cycle, albeit one built on the dark history of slavery. This is well documented in food economic history. Molasses even sparked protests. In the 1760s, Britain slapped a huge tax on imported molasses. This fired up the American colonies and became one of the sparks of the Revolution. It's wild to think a simple syrup helped start a war. And don't forget the Great Molasses Flood in Boston, 1919, where a giant tank exploded, causing a 25-foot-high wave of sludge. 21 people died, and it took the city years to clean up the stickiness. Now the big question, is molasses healthy? Molasses, especially blackstrap, can contain small amounts of minerals like potassium, calcium, and iron because it's less refined than table sugar and retains more of what was in the original juice. USDA food composition data lists minerals present in molasses, though exact numbers vary by type and brand. But here's the reality check. Molasses is still an added sugar ingredient and is calorie-dense. You don't want to treat it like a supplement. A practical way to think about it, molasses can be slightly more nutrient-containing than white sugar, but it's still primarily a sweetener. So use it for flavor, not for health hacks. Here's a fast buyer's guide. Want classic gingerbread flavor? Dark molasses. Want a milder sweetness for pancakes or marinades? Light molasses. Want the boldest, most bittersweet intensity and the least sweet? Blackstrap. Start small like a teaspoon because it can dominate. Seeing beet molasses? Expect a different flavor profile. It's often less common on grocery shelves for direct cooking. So molasses isn't mystery syrup. It's the shadow side of sugar, the part that doesn't crystallize, the part that gets darker with every boil, and the reason sugar making doesn't just create sweetness, it creates flavor. If you want, comment the word blackstrap and tell me what you use molasses for. Barbecue, baking, or something surprising. And if you want the next video, brown sugar versus molasses, what's actually different? Subscribe.